What if you gave me 28 days of your sharp laser focus and I could transform your relationship with money and teach you how to exercise a healthy self investment strategy? I'm talking investing in your health, wealth, and pleasure. I am challenging you to 28 days of that pure laser focus. The 28-day Intentional Wealth Reset Challenge has a formula that I've personally been using for years. And let me tell you, it will help you declutter your digital life and get your finances in order, giving you that mental and body refresh that you've been craving for. Cash that isn't growing is dead cash. Most traditional banks give you next to nothing when it comes to interest, aka if you have $100 in a checking account, that $100 will actually be worth less if it's just sitting there. This is because of inflation. But if you put it in a high interest savings account, aka if you have $100 in a checking account, that $100 will actually be worth less if it's just sitting there. This is because of inflation. But if you put it in a high interest savings account that grows like an HISA, GICs, or the stock market, that $100 will not only grow, but it'll be worth more than $100, even if it's just sitting in that high interest savings account. I'm giving you a list of what bank accounts you should be leveraging. But first, welcome to part 2 of the Intentional Wealth Reset Challenge, where we maximize your money opportunities. We're going to set the scene for who you are right now, aka we're going to be reviewing your accounts. And then we're going to plan for the type of person you do want to be in the next month. How do they start their day? How do they end it? How do they treat their money? And then we get into part 3. But first, I'd recommend watching part 1 of this video. If you haven't, don't worry, you can absolutely watch it right after this one. It's short, packed with easy steps on how to clear your digital and financial space. Now, let's get real with our numbers. We gotta figure out where you're at by checking all of your balances. For example, if you're planning to lose weight and want to be at a certain number, you wouldn't start a fitness journey without knowing your starting weight. Same deal here. Go into each of your bank accounts and update how much you currently have in each of them. I have a free downloadable Notion worksheet that you can use to put all your numbers in and stay organized. Money can be emotional, so it's okay if you need to take a step back if this feels uncomfortable. We're not taught how to manage our finances, and especially if you grow up in a Western society, we're taught to borrow, spend, and forget. So take your time to review your accounts. Once you have a figure for each account, we're going into step 2. Let's learn how to make your money work for you. A high yield savings account helps your money grow while you sleep. Even a 3 to 4% interest rate can make a difference and may lead to a few hundred extra in your pocket. As I said at the start of this video, cash that isn't growing is dead cash. Most traditional banks give you next to nothing when it comes to interest, like 0.5 to 1%. AKA, if you have $100 in that checking account, that $100 will actually be worth less if it's just sitting there. This is due to inflation. But if you put in a high interest savings account that grows like a HISA, GIC, or the stock market, that $100 will not only grow but be worth even more than $100, even if it's just sitting in that account. For example, think of Allie who puts away $100 per month for savings in an envelope or just with her traditional bank with no interest. In 5 years, she'll have $6,000. But think of Jing who puts the same amount of $100 per month, but she puts it into a high interest savings account of 4%. In 5 years, she has 6.6K. In this scenario, Jing would have extra $653 more than Allie after 5 years, simply by using a high interest savings account. This demonstrates the power of compound interest over time. Even with the same monthly contribution, Jing's money grows more than Allie's due to the interest earned. Some great Canadian high-interest savings accounts you can be leveraging are Neo, Wealthsimple Cash, EQ Bank, Coho, and more. Definitely explore these options. If you want a full breakdown of each of them, check out my Instagram account where I go in depth of each one that I use. Remember, you're not limited to just HISAs. There's also guaranteed investment certificates, GICs, which are secured investments. The easiest way to explain it is that if you lock in, for example, $5,000 over 2 years, you're guaranteed a selected interest rate for that entire period. For instance, let's say 5%. So as long as you don't touch that money in that account, your $5,000 is guaranteed to get 5% interest by the end of year two, which equates to about 5.5K. So you can make about $513 just locking that in. What I want you to check is to go through each of your accounts and see if there's any dead cash laying around. Can you put in a GIC, HISA? For example, can you put your emergency fund money in an HISA? What's really easy is that you can quickly pull out that money anytime you want. Or maybe you have an option to put that cash in the stock market, or maybe in a GIC if you're planning to buy a home in, let's say, 5 years and you don't want to touch that money. I want you to review each account and ask yourself, is my money growing in this account or is it dead cash? And what can I do about it? Now we get into step 3. All right, now it's time to analyze your money behavior. We're breaking down your spending into 3 categories: investing in future you, savings, safety net you, and expenses, so all non-living expenses. And remember, there's no judgment here. It's all about awareness and being honest with ourselves when it comes to money. Keep in mind, you can't change what you don't acknowledge, right? So now I want you to answer these few questions. But first, go through that PDF you downloaded. If you're new to the challenge here, don't fret. I asked you all to download your bank statements over the past 6 to 12 months and combine them into one PDF, which you can use with these free tools that I've linked in the description below. Then I ask you to highlight any monthly and annual subscriptions in 2 different colors. By then, you should be able to notice any patterns, like Ubers or takeaways or shopping trends. And I want you to write down any purchasing behaviors or patterns that you notice. Do you tend to buy near the end of the month? Or do you invest before or after your paycheck happens? Reflect on that spending. Then, based on those bank statements, I want you to calculate your average monthly spend on 1, your investing, 2, savings, and 3, non-living expenses over the past 6 months. You can organize these numbers in the free Notion worksheet/dashboard that you can download, which is linked in the video description below. This is us getting honest with where our money went and how and when we spent it. If we want to start building a healthier relationship with money, we need to communicate how we treat it instead of avoiding it. Step number 4, we're going to maximize those tax accounts. So this is for all my Canadian viewers. Let's discuss TFSAs and RRSPs. These are tax advantage accounts that are essential tools for efficient saving and investing. A TFSA or tax-free savings account allows your investments to grow tax-free. On the other hand, RRSP, or Registered Retirement Saving Plan, offers tax deductions now and defers taxes until withdrawal, typically in retirement. If you have unused contribution room in either account, consider maximizing it before the year ends to potentially benefit from tax savings or tax-free growth. The best way to check is to log into your CRA and check your contribution room. I've linked a TFSA calculator too, so you can check how much room you have based on when you turned 18. Mind you though, don't depend only on the calculator as it's for educational purposes only. Definitely log into the CRA online and check yourself for a more accurate number. So we did a lot of unpacking and deep reflection about our spending habits. It's okay to feel like crap, or maybe you're quite proud of yourself and where your money went over the past 6 to 12 months. On my channel, it's really important we hold space for those emotions that come with money. After all, 90% of purchases are due to an emotional reaction, whether it be impulse or not. Once we understand that, we're able to respond according to the boundaries and goals we financially set. Speaking of which, part 3 of the Intentional Wealth Reset Challenge, that's for 28 days, this is my favorite part, will be exactly about that. We're going to get crystal clear on the person that we want to become and figure out the habits that support this. Remember, I'm right there with you in this entire Money 28-day challenge. I have a live recorded video of me doing each of these tasks in real time with a timer and everything. I'm super proud of you for taking this initiative to get real about your money because this stuff is hard. It's not easy and it takes a lot of mental work, especially if you come from an upbringing where money was never talked about. Together, we're not just optimizing your finances. We're understanding the current lifestyle we've built and now adjusting it so we can step into the desired, financially healthier lifestyle that we want. So if this is the type of stuff you're looking to get into, I recommend subscribing to this channel below and watching part 3, which is now available on my channel. See you guys in the next one.